Hello, hello, Zeteo here. Today we're taking a look at a match between Barcast TV and Highgain. We are going to do a speed cast. I'm going to set the speed right now to 1.5. Let's get into it.
Game started.
Alright, so at this bottom left-hand position we have Pro Highgain spawned as our red Cortex player. And at the top right-hand side we have Barcast TV spawned as our blue Cortex player. This is actually, in fact, going to be a Cortex v Cortex. And yeah, IsidisCrack, I do a lot of casts on this map. A lot of players enjoy this map, so it's something we see a lot of. Looks like we are going to see bots on a Barcast. Actually, we're going to see bots on both sides. So yeah, it's going to be Grunts v Grunts. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. So far, it looks like the builds are pretty much identical. You know, building up the basic stuffs. And yeah, now we're going to start seeing some cons. And looks like a Resbot first from Highgain. So Highgain actually going to go after these cacti, the San Pedro. And yeah, going to get a little bit of extra energy that way. Now, not a lot of people start with a Resbot on this kind of map because the cactus, there just isn't that much of it. So it's like, is it really worth it to have it out? I mean, you're going to need the wind and stuff anyways at some point. So I don't know. It's just a cost that you might cut. Some people like to cut it anyway. But yeah, Barcast, meanwhile, on this other side, just building in some cons, getting some grunts out, boosting his lab with his commander, and yeah, already has his first con out to, you know, expand and grab some the first mechs there. Even building a radar tower here. Second con looks like he's moving out now, going up here to grab some you know, this cluster of 3 mechs is here. And let's see, Highgain here. Let's see, 3. Nope. I was gonna say 3, but it's only 2 cons out expanding. One going up to the hill, the other one moving on to this cluster here. So both players kind of doing something very similar here. Barcast actually has added on a 3rd con though, so a little bit different here. Pro Gain looks like he is instead going to be opting to build a quicker nano and then get his commander away from the base to start expanding and securing the fronts on his own. Now, this is kind of a high cost. He doesn't really have the middle for it, so he's kind of slowing down his production to be able to do this, but this will allow him to start producing some more units while still having his commander away from the base. So it's just a slight difference in terms of that. Barcast still boosting with his commander. No nano there as of yet, so he has a few more units out to begin with because of that. And then just having that 3rd con expand is helping out a lot so far. But yeah, Highgain here will catch up with the expansions with that commander out expanding. Yeah, so far the pressure is mainly on Highgain here with these grunts at the bottom, these 4 grunts. Possibly going to do something. There's a little bit of a skirmish here at the top as well. These grunts are now getting picked off for the most part. And yeah, Barcast still has a somewhat healthy lead in terms of army value and just, you know, stuff in general. A slight lead. And I think that's just a very small difference in the build order and whatnot. Now his metal started to rise a bit, so he has added on a construction turret. So actually boosting with his commander and the construction turret for now. Actually getting a 2nd construction turret, and I think he'll probably be moving his commander out at the base after that. But both players doing a very good job making sure that they have enough energies to support everything going on. Well, for the most part, it looks like Highgain now needs to add on some wins. But yeah, there's some fighting going on at the bottom right-hand position here. But yeah, lots of grunts here from Barcast, so he's going to be able to threaten this quite a bit. We'll have to wait and see if Highgain is able to get some grunts over there to help protect his expansion at the very bottom. And that con is so very important to keep alive. You know, anytime you lose a con, it's like, oh man, now I gotta you know, build another con and move it all the way out there to start re-expanding again. And that takes a lot of time in a lot of cases. You know, obviously depending on how far away it is, you know, from your lab. But yeah, Barcast just kind of doing a nice job, like poking around with these grunts, not overcommitting. I see a lot of new players just kind of rush them in and try to find damage. And, you know, that's very common, and a lot of players crack under that kind of pressure. But at this high level kind of game, you know, doing that is kind of a death sentence. If you run in there, lose all your grunts, you know, and the defender somewhat has an advantage because they have the radar in that territory. If they see it coming, they can respond with plenty of grunts or whatever is necessary. And, you know, if you lose all those grunts or whatever else is out there, you know, you just leave in metal for your opponent to have or to resurrect and just have a bigger army. So, you know, Barcast being very careful and a little bit more, what's the word? Yeah, I mean, I guess just being careful with his units here. But yeah, we have switched into incisors at this point for both players. Barcast doing a little bit of a better job spending his money. Highgain here, a little bit high on the metal at the moment. But yeah, now starting into medium tanks as well. So these players mainly not just like running units at each other and hoping for the best. I see a lot of new, in fact, like every single new player will do that. And just run in there with a lot of units, and whatever happens, happens. Maybe you get some damage, maybe, you know, you lose a lot of stuff. And I see, you know, that's at a certain point, it's like it doesn't work out as well as you might think because the defender just has the APM, has the awareness to be able to, you know, deal with whatever you send. So it becomes a little bit less worth it at some point, depending on the skill levels of these players. Looks like a Khan is going to get picked off here for free. Right before the LT is done as well. Looks like Barcast actually getting a little bit pinched here, but some incisors come to the rescue and save those grunts. Now these grunts from Highgain are probably going to have to, well, it looks like they might still poke in here. There's a lot of units up here from Barcast, a little bit out of position, so he's going to have to back up a little bit here. And Highgain just taking out a couple mexes for free and just kind of backing out. And, you know, that's really nice. That's really what you want to do, is try to find that free damage and then just get the heck out of there. There's an air transition for Barcast, actually for Highgain as well. So it's around 10 minutes, just FYI. This is when, you know, players, you know, you'll start seeing air around this time is what I should say. It certainly can happen around this time. And that's going to depend on the map, depend on how open it is. I mean, this game has kind of stalemated a little bit with the units, like both players just being a little bit more careful with their units and not just sending them in. So, you know, it becomes more of a, well, your army and my army is big enough that we don't really want to fight, because then it's just kind of a coin flip of you know, who wins that depending on the micro and skills of the players. But, you know, then it becomes more of a, you know, I can do things like switch into air, switch into T2, you know, and there's certainly a large possibility of players being able to maybe bomb or something like that. So both players just getting their fighters going and making sure that they're going to be safe against some kind of airplay like that. But yeah, it's actually dead even on metal. Highgain is ahead on energy income. Barcast commander's sticking out a little bit, and there's actually a lot of units here, so he's got to be careful. But Highgain also needs to be careful as well, because there's plenty of pounders in this army. Well, I say plenty, but there's, well, actually there's four pounders in here. So rushing in here can be kind of tricky. Barcast forced to back up here. He's getting some lashers out here to kind of poke from a distance. But yeah, he's going to have to get more units out here. It looks like Highgain is fully committed, pulling the trigger here, trying to get in between the units. This is a nice move here, just kind of going like that with his forces here, considering Barcast had a chunk of them in the back. But yeah, it looks like it's not going to be, it's not going to work out for him. This is exactly why you don't do something like that. It's like yes, like you can do something like that, but if you are incorrect in that, then all of a sudden you get pinched, you lose your entire army. So Barcast actually trading pretty well here, but there are more reinforcements coming up here from Highgain. So going to be able to push us back, going to be able to maintain the fronts here. So despite making that mistake, he still has enough forces to maintain the front line here. And Barcast now just has all these wrecks to, you know, pick up. Oh, his commander, though. His commander's poking out. That was the bad position for his commander. And that's rather unfortunate. After taking such a nice trade here near his base, just accidentally leaving his commander out like that. Oh, man. That's pretty rough. You don't want to, you know, obviously you don't want to do that, but, you know, mistakes happen even at this really high level of gameplay. Anyways, that's it. Kind of a short one from us. I hope you enjoyed my casting. If you did, please leave a comment. You know, yeah, leave a comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. tell your friends, tell your mother, whatever it is that you know, spread the word of this channel, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. And if you didn't like it, then, you know, leave a comment about what I could do better, or you know, what's not working out on your side of things. There was like, sometimes it's like a weird thing of like, oh, the sound isn't quite right for me, you know, someone points out the sound, and it's like, well, you know, different people have different you know, balances in terms of sound, different presets, and you know, sometimes the game volume is louder than my voice, and sometimes my voice is way too loud, and it just depends on how you have that set up. So I'm trying to get somewhere in the middle, so let me know how I'm doing with that as well. Anyways, this is Zeteo signing out. Thanks for watching.